I love a good survey, poll, things like that. YouGov did one about bottled water.
Okay.
And these were the top 5 bottled. The reason I'm bringing this up is I think it's stupid because it all tastes the same to me. But whatever, that's just me. Okay, that's just me.
I'm alone.
Aquafina was number 1, then Smart Water, Vitamin Water, Dasani, and Pure Life. And I would like to point out that I so don't care that in the studio I have the one and only Great Value brand, which means it's from Walmart water.
Yes.
Well, vitamin water isn't even water, first of all, so that shouldn't be on the list.
The vitamin water is flavored.
Right, but it's on the list, so I don't know.
It's number 3, so that tells us how much people like drinking regular water,
That would be Jaden's favorite.
Yes, that would be Jaden's favorite of the waters. But, mine even on the list? It's Fiji.
It is on the list.
Fiji is number 6.
Okay.
But how is that number 6? Maybe because it's a little
expensive.
It costs more. Yeah.
I'm kind of bougie with my water. I like Fiji and I like Evian. And Greg is funny a little bit, but he likes the cheaper waters. Like, we have
Ice Mountain.
Ice Mountain in the studio. It's the most economical.
Yeah, for like 28 to 16-ounce bottles, it's like less than $5.
What about Dasani? It tastes like dirt.
It tastes like dirt.
It does.
Water cannot taste like dirt. That's not a thing.
Aquafina.
No, I looked it up. I know why it tastes like dirt.
Why?
It's very scientific. It's because they add, so Coca-Cola owns Dasani, right?
Right.
They add minerals after, and one of the minerals they add is magnesium sulfate. And magnesium and potassium naturally taste earthy. They occur in dirt
it's like
and
this
soil.
is wine or something. This is bottled water, people.
No, I wanted to know because I'm like, why am I so bougie about my water?
I mean.
And Aquafina and Dasani taste like dirt to me, and that's why, because they add the minerals.
Well, let me open up my Ice Mountain here.
Exactly. Greg's of the people.
Ice Mountain's not even on the list. I guess it's considered generic, maybe.
Well, I don't know. But
Deer Park is not very good.
It's
actually,
fine.
Pure Life isn't bad. Sometimes when we go to Disney, you'll order it from Publix, and then we'll get Pure Life.
Yeah.
And
because it's cheaper than the other ones.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I love Smart Water.
Does it work?
You know what? I don't know. You tell me. But I do like the taste of Smart Water, and this is really goofy, but I love the shape of the bottles, too.
Aww.
We talk about some of these goofy things every once in a while that don't have anything to do with finances. I'm sure somebody is listening saying, what does this have to do with
Nothing.
The price of eggs somewhere or whatever the saying is?
Price of tea in China.
That's it, yeah. But I think you could compare this list to insurance companies or maybe investment options somehow.
Probably.
See, but
I can turn anything into a financial conversation if I have to. I mean,
but we don't
save
have
us,
to.
Kristin.
We don't have to. I just I'm impressed that bottled water is this big of a deal, and to me, if it's wet in the it's fine. It's not soda.
well, my doctor
Wet
says
your whistle, as they say.
There you go.
my doctor says I'm supposed to drink at least a gallon a day.
Right.
And so, I mean, if I'm going to have to drink it, then I want to enjoy it. And I need it to be cold. I know it's better if it's more room temperature.
Supposed to be, yeah.
But I like it cold.
I'd love to hear
The
from our
colder,
listeners
the better.
if they have a preference on bottled water. If they
Not me
operate
checking how many ounces are in a gallon. Okay, 128
No, it's
ounces.
we have a mutual friend named Mike that used to carry a gallon of water with him to work every day just to stay hydrated.
Right.
I thought he was looking for a fire. But whatever. Either way, would love to listen and hear from you, our listeners. You can contact us through legacyretirementgroup.com or hit us up on social media as to if the bottled water debate matters to you or not. But we did hear from a couple that's been listening to us here on the radio for years now, and I apologize. I'm all over the place still fighting this sinus thing, so I'm kind of stumbling my words here.
It hangs on. This summer cold's been awful.
Oh, my goodness. But anyway, this couple, they reached out after listening to us a long time. They're in the process of actually interviewing financial advisors. Mm-hmm. I think that's interesting. It makes me wonder, is it a good idea? Do you think it is to talk to more than one advisor when you're dealing with retirement? And what questions do we ask when we sit down?
So I do think it's a good idea to talk to more than one person. You know, it's so interesting. We get so many people that come in from the radio show or the television show, and it's such an honor when people choose to come in to have us talk to them about probably the most personal and important topic that they're going to talk about, which is how they take what they've saved and make it last their lifetime and beyond. So what a great opportunity for us when people do decide to call and come in or go on the website and schedule a meeting. But, there's some things that I think are really vital that you talk about with the person that you're interviewing. And one, I think the number one is, are you a fiduciary? In other words, do you have the legal obligation to do what's in my best interest?
And I came up with a question for that because that's kind of you might ask that question and you may not totally understand the
Even
scope
what you're
of that
asking,
question.
kind of, yeah.
So I think you should ask, how do you get paid and what does that mean for the advice you give me?
Ooh.
Let's
Boy,
be direct.
that's good. Yeah, because how do you get paid? And there's basically three main ways. One is on commission. In other words, every time you sell a security or buy a security, you get a commission on it. That's one way. And that's typically found in more of the broker-dealer side, so companies that are brokers. And, if you're interviewing somebody, ask, are you an independent advisor, or do you work for a broker? Okay? And I won't mention any of them, but there's plenty of them out there, and just ask the question, and that'll tell you whether or not they're paid by commission or they're paid by fee. Now, in our practice, we are percentage of assets under management on the investment side.
Okay.
So we are fee-based, okay? Then there's people that are flat fee. Now, fee-based, by the way, fee-based is a percentage of the asset. So if the asset goes down in value, the advisor earns less.
That seems fair.
If the asset goes up in value, the advisor earns more.
Totally fair.
So the advisor really has a vested interest in helping you grow your money. Because the better you do, the better they do. Okay? Now, there's those that are flat fee. It's interesting to me. There's people on the radio that will, tell people, change your advisor, do this, do that, and they go and they charge a flat fee, which means they do the same regardless of how you do. And I find that interesting. They're going to make the same, and they tend to criticize other people's fees, but they charge the same fee no matter what. And I find that very interesting. So I don't feel as though they have to be as invested in how you do, because they're going to make the same regardless of how you do. Okay, so those are three basic ways: fee, a flat fee, fee-based, and then commission.
Now, here's another question I would ask.
Yeah, let's get to Chris.
Sometimes
I like the way Kristen's asking these questions.
I try to think what I do as a consumer, a person trying to get an advisor. And I would say, how will you create a retirement plan that's specific to my situation? And this is why I would ask that. I would ask that because it forces them to explain whether or not they use a cookie cutter template for strategies.
Yes.
So it doesn't ask them that where they can say yes or no. You're basically kind of pigeonholing them into answering that question for you.
And in conjunction with that, how are you advising me with my retirement beyond just money? In other words, beyond just my asset allocation. I'm going to have, if you're recommending 60% stock, 40% bond, okay, that sounds great. But how does that give me a paycheck every month?
Right. How does that factor in taxes? How does that factor in healthcare? How does that factor in income streams and market risks? I mean, I feel like when you're asking that question, you're making them tell you what their approach is.
Yes, because if the only, if a written plan for you is simply what we would call a Monte Carlo report, and in a Monte Carlo report, it'll give you the percentage of confidence that they believe you'll have that you won't run out of money. And if that Monte Carlo report says you're 98% confident, that's based on a random selection of the way you're invested now over what they believe the market will do in, say, the next 20 to 30 years. Well, if you look at the last 20 to 30 years, the market's been all over the place. And so how does that play into what you're actually doing? And then I believe this is an important one too, Kristin. Mm-hmm. What principles do you adhere to in regards to my planning? So here I can show people we believe that investment decisions should only be made within the context of a plan. So therefore, the plan determines how you invest, that you need to be efficient with risk, that you need to understand what your fees are, that you need to protect your income, grow the rest, and then you need to be prepared for things like inflation, healthcare, and taxes. And if your plan doesn't follow those principles, then in reality, you probably don't even have a plan.